Thrilled to be back here. This is just so lovely. I'll tell you just a little bit about me. My name's Jo. I have taught a variety of fitness classes for, oh gosh, going on 25 years now. And yoga is my favorite, I own a little yoga studio down in Oregon, Wisconsin. If you're ever down there, just right across from our fancy little Firefly coffee shop, we have Wishing Tree Studio. So check in, say hi if you're down there. And hi, Zoomies. Let's check in just for a second here. If you wouldn't mind, those of you in the room, if you've done yoga before, if you'd raise your hand, that would be great. Yeah, awesome. We'll be doing a little Pilates too. Anybody with Pilates experience? Yep. And we're just going to do some functional mobility as well. Really important to just keep our bodies moving, and especially this upper part of our bodies, we tend to get a little stiff. So we'll do a little bit of functional mobility as well. The most important thing is that you listen to your body. Listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, it's not. I'll try to give lots and lots of options. And if you need something else, give me a wave and I'll come up with something else for you. For those of you online in the room, we're setting up so that the long edge of our mats is facing forward. And that's just so when we're standing, we can turn without craning our necks and we'll be able to see each other a little bit better. So let's start on our backs today. Let's start off kind of slow today. And just for the record, when I'm talking about core, I'm talking from the base of our spines down to the bottom of our pelvic floor. Okay, so we're going to play a little bit with that. First, just let your body be heavy on the floor. If you'd like to be in constructive rest with your feet on the floor, you can do that. You could take your legs out long if that's feeling better to you. Just let your whole body be heavy. Let your body rest here for a minute. Just checking in from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. Noticing whatever you notice. Any sensations, any tightness, any places that feel rested and ready to work. And let your shoulder blades drop back to the floor. Let your shoulders open. Just feel your body held by the earth. And then begin to check in with your breath. There's no need to change anything. Just take a minute to notice how you're breathing today. You might feel your breath a little more in your upper chest. You might notice it out the sides of your rib cage. You might notice your breath drawn down towards your belly, or maybe even in your back. And then take a few slower breaths. See if you can just slow your inhale and your exhale down, making them about the same length. And it might feel nice to inhale through your nose and take a big sighing exhale through your mouth. Good. And now turn your attention to your pelvis. Let's imagine our pelvises as bowls of water. And we're going to slosh the water around in the pelvis a little bit just to wake up those core muscles. So if you take your fingers and you put them on your hip bones, and then let your hip bones drop back toward the mat, you'll notice that you close the space between your low back and the floor. It doesn't have to be a press. We're just getting a little closer, and release that just back to neutral. See if you can do this without letting your legs help. So all the movements coming from those abdominal muscles and back muscles. Good. So if our pelvis was a bowl of water, we'd be sloshing the water from our heads to our knees. Let's see if we can change that up. Come back to neutral pelvis. Rock your right hip bone up and then your left hip bone up so that the pelvis is rocking side to side. And legs are going to want to help. See if you can keep your legs pretty still, pretty quiet. You might even take your fingers and kind of press in there and feel those muscles working. Just noticing. Let's make it a little bit more challenging, perhaps. Pick up your right hip bone, lift your right hip bone, then your pubic bone, your left hip bone, and your belly button. And now if our pelvises were bowls of water, we'll be swirling that water all the way around. We're waking up the pelvis, waking up the back and the belly muscles. Yeah, and then maybe we go the opposite way. If you pick up your left hip bone, your pubic bone, your right hip bone, and your belly button, you'll be swirling the water in the pelvic bowl around the other way. Nice. Let's do one more. And then come back and find your neutral spine. So you've got a little space behind your low back, a little space underneath your neck. Bring your arms to the side. Reach your hands up overhead. They don't have to go all the way to the floor, just whatever feels good for your shoulders. We'll reach thumbs up and press palms down. Let's add a little breath. So maybe an inhale on the way up, maybe a sighing exhale on the way down. Warming up those shoulder joints. Good, let's change it up a little bit. Inhale up, and then like you're making a snow angel, sweep those arms around. And again, they don't have to come to the floor, just wherever feels reasonable for your shoulders. Let's do a few more. Inhaling up, exhaling around, and inhaling up, exhaling around. Reach toward your toes now, tuck your chin, and lift your upper body up off the floor. Warming up a little higher. Let's hold here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and rock it down. Nice. Bring your legs up parallel to the floor, a little Pilates 100. They can stay right here. If as we go along you want to take them straight or drop them down, go ahead and do that. Just make sure you're not bringing an arch into your low back. So we're doing this really mindfully. We're going to take our arms and we're going to pump the arms. This is kind of funny. We're just going to inhale for about 5 and then exhale for about 5. If your head gets tired, if your neck gets tired, put your head down. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more sets. Inhale, exhale, just building a little heat. Inhale and exhale. Good. Very nice. Drop your feet to the floor. Take your feet wide. Let your knees drop together. And then let them sway a little side to side. Just release all those muscles that we were using. Good. And then come on back to center. Take your right leg, draw it into your chest. If you want to bring your head up off the floor, you can, or you can keep it down. And then switch, take your left leg. One more each side. Just getting used to that motion. All right, put your head down. We're going to make it a little bit more challenging. Bring our brains into this. Take your left hand, put it on your left ankle, right hand on the left knee. If it feels good to bring your head up, you can do that. Yep, so here we are. The outside hands on the ankle, inside hands on the knee, and then we switch. Yeah, and switch. Let's add some breath with this. So exhale every time a long leg is long. Inhale as you switch. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. And drop it back down. Take your feet wide, knees together. Rock a little side to side. Good. One more here. This might be like something that you've done before if you've done gym bicycles or yoga bicycles. We're going to switch it up a little bit though. So bring your hands behind your head. Bring your legs up. You can lift your head up off the floor if that feels okay. Take your right elbow to your right knee. That's not a mistake. But it's real hard to do, isn't it? Take your left elbow to your left knee. Because we have a different movement pattern set in our brains, we're just going back and forth. Right elbow to right knee. Left elbow to left knee. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Go ahead and roll yourself up or come up however feels good to you. Now you can face front. Little twist to each side. Yep, same to the other side. Good. Come on back to center. Take your right hand to the floor, left hand to the sky. We're going to keep both sides of our bodies long as we reach up, 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 and then over to the side. Really opening up the side body. Yeah. And if that feels nice and you want a little bit more, take your arm out over that knee. And we'll get down into the low back. Just enough. Yeah, we'll come all the way back up. Same thing, other side. Left hand down, right hand reaches. We keep both sides of the bodies long. Good. And if that feels great and you want a little more, find that diagonal stretch. Good. And we'll come all the way back up and just shake it out. Just for fun, I've got to throw in one silly thing to do. Take your fingers, put them together. Bringing our brains online again. Take your right hand, circle that forward away from you. So making the biggest, smoothest circle you can with that hand. And stop. Take your left hand, circle it toward you. Same thing, big, smooth circle, really noticing. And stop. Take your right forward and your left back and right forward and left back. Nice. And then if you like, both at once, meeting at the top. Notice what happens to that circle. Notice just if it gets a little square, perhaps, or if maybe one hand is following the other. We're just noticing. Good. And shake it out. All right. And then come over to all fours. I'm going to turn this way just so that folks online can see what I'm doing a little with my legs. I'm just going to turn kind of funny here. So come to all fours and set up a nice neutral spine. Feel your lower abdomen draw it a little bit in and a little bit up towards your rib cage, not so much that you can't breathe. Bring your body into the world's tiniest Halloween cat. Nobody can even see it. We're just turning on the muscles that would make that happen. Maybe you feel your hands press a little into the floor. Maybe you feel a little more engagement through the belly. And then the world's tiniest cow. So we're going to look up just a little bit, lift the tailbone. Yeah. And then start to make a little bigger cat, little Halloween cat, and a little bigger cow. If it feels good, put some breath with it. I like to exhale into my cat, but you could do it the opposite. See if you can feel that space between your shoulder blades. Notice what's happening there. Real important posture muscles. Notice what you're doing with your neck. Are you bringing your neck into the movement? And then notice if there's any other way that your body might like to move. Maybe a little side to side or circling around or sitting back towards child's pose or anything else that feels good. So check in with your wrists. How do they do when you're putting weight on them? And then come on back to center. Take your right leg, reach it out behind you. And we're just going to float it up. See if you can keep your toes pointing down. Your leg may want to do this. We're going to try to keep our hips square, toes pointing down. That looks beautiful. Take your opposite arm, and if it feels good, reach it all the way out. Thumb up. Yeah, so one option, you could stay here, or you could start to move it, elbow to knee. Now let's do about 4 of those if you're moving. And stop there. Remember which leg and arm you're on and sit your body back to child's pose. So big reach, we're letting the wrist relax. It might feel nice to walk arms over to one side and put a little weight on the opposite hip. And if you're doing that, walk them over to the other side. Also fine to just stay in the middle. Good. And then we'll come on back to center. Take your left leg, send it back behind you. We're going to float that leg up. Keep the toes pointing down. Maybe fire up the leg if you want a little bit more sensation. Add your arm, thumb up. Yeah. Yeah, then we can start to move this. Notice what your breath wants to do. Notice if you're holding your breath. Good. And we'll hold it back out. And bring it down, sitting back to child's pose. One option for child's pose is to take knees wide, toes together. That can feel nice, but totally fine parallel as well. Good. And then let's come on to all fours again. Okay. You are all facing different directions. This is perfect, facing the center of the room. You have a leg that's far away from me, and you have a leg that's close to me. Okay, so that'll be important in just a minute. Take your leg that's close to me and step it back. Yeah, perfect. Take that leg up and step it across your other leg and have a look back at your toes. Good. Take that same leg, swing it out to the side. And twist toward me. Beautiful. And then we'll go ahead and drop that back down. Bring your leg in. We'll do the same on the other side. So the other leg's back, and we're going to step it across. Have a look back at your toes. And then swing it all the way out to the side and twist away from me. So we're looking away from each other right now. Good. And then come on back. And bring that leg back in. Turn your toes under. This is going to feel a little bit awkward. We're going to sit back toward our heels, only as far as feels good. You really can't quite get into child's pose. Rock it a little forward. Send your hips back, press back with your hands. We'll only do a couple of these. Bring it back to the mat. One more. Let's exhale back towards child's pose. Inhale forward, kind of this funny planky thing. Exhale, send your hips back. And then go ahead and walk your legs back to a nice comfortable down dog. Let your legs walk a little bit. Let your hips sway a little bit. Good. Take your leg that's away from me toward the back of the room. Float it up in the air. Step forward between your hands. Take your time. Make your way up to high lunge. Yep, high crescent lunge. Yep, so we'll step that foot forward and come on up. Do what you need to do to set up. Good. That lower abdomen, let's pull it a little in, a little bit up, and then reach your arms forward, just like you were reaching for a shelf. We're going to reach forward. Inhale back up. Let's do two more. Reaching forward. Inhale back up. Good. One more. Good. Come all the way back up. Turn your back foot out and your front foot stays right where it is. We'll open to warrior two. Nice. Drop your shoulders down. Take that hand that's in front of you to the sky. Little peaceful warrior. Take that elbow, put it on your knee. Bring the other hand right across the horizon. And then when you get to the top, if it feels good to you, open up. If not, No need to do that. We're going to send it back all the way up. Big inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee. And across the horizon. Let's do 2 more. Strong, stable legs. This time, really soft arms in whatever way feels good to you. Yeah. Good. I'll bring it back up. Good. Find your way back to warrior 2. Just for one breath. Nice. Sink the shoulders down. Let's reach forward to find our triangle. Beautiful. Straighten that leg. Open up to triangle. Good. Keep your triangle legs. Bring your arms all the way up. And we'll reach. Good. And back to warrior 2. Turn your toes forward. Now we're just going to forward fold over. You can put your hands on your legs. You can let your knees bend as much as you need to. You can bring fingertips to the mat. You could take them out to your toes. You can reach them through your legs. Whatever feels nice. Good. And just hang out here and breathe. Let your head hang down. Check for any tension in your neck. Good. I always like to do a twist here. So if you like the twists, leave your right hand on the floor, take your left hand to the sky. Yep. Just like that. And then we'll switch and go to the other side. Nice. Bring your hands down. Hands to thighs will come all the way back up. Yeah. And we'll turn to the other side. So we're just going to go and just set up your, yep, so we'll be facing the outside of the room. Beautiful. Both arms up, a big inhale. Good. Let's reach it forward. Use your core and bring it back up. Let's do 3 more just like that. Reaching forward and returning. 2 more. Good. After this next one, bring your torso back up. Let your back foot turn out. Warrior 1. Beautiful. Open to warrior 2. Take the hand that's in front, reach it up to the sky. Peaceful warrior. Yep. And then we're going to take that elbow to the knee. The other hand comes across the horizon. We find that little opening. Good. And rolling back up. Elbow to knee. Good. Now strong legs, soft arms. Just let them flow. Good. One more just like that. Good. And we'll come all the way back up to warrior 2. Yep. And then just like before, keep your legs, reach that arm out. When you can't go any farther, go ahead and let your front leg open. Straighten, opening to triangle. Nice. Keep your triangle legs. Rotate your body up. And we'll come back to warrior 2. Good. Shake it out. Let's turn toes forward. A little bit of leg strength. Is that good? And you can take your squat down as far as feels good to you. So we're going to sink ourselves into a squat. Check in with your knees. Make sure they're going out the same direction as your toes, nice and strong. Yeah. And you can do what you want with this, right? One option is to walk the legs a little back and forth. Good. Yep, you could do a little up and down. You could come out of your squat if you like. You could also come to toes on both sides. Maybe one more breath. Nice. Drop those heels, come all the way up. That should feel good. Turn your toes forward, forward fold. You might take your hands to your elbows if that feels nice to your low back, or certainly go ahead and support on your legs. Good. And let's come all the way back up. Shoulders back. Yeah, let's mess with shoulders a little bit. Bring your feet in and circle shoulders back. Yeah. And if that means bringing the rest of your body into it, that's awesome. Let's take one shoulder and then the other. Yeah, just be loose, let it flow. And then let's circle forward. Little crawl stroke here. And then both together. And shake it out. All right. Play with the hips just a little bit before we take it back down to the mat. Square your feet and then start to circle your hips. They can be big circles, they can be little circles. See if you can make at least part of the motion happen from here. Notice which direction you're going. See if you can switch and go the other way. Nice. How about some figure eights? I see some shoulders coming into this too. Yeah, that might feel good. Notice which direction you're going. This will be hard with shoulders. See if you can switch it. Nice. And then just shake it out. All right. Let's flow just a little bit. If you turn toward the center of the room, that would be great. Let's inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Bring your back parallel to the floor. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Maybe add a little back bend at the top. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. One more. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Stay here this time. Let your knees bend kind of a lot. Lift your tailbone. Lift your back. Make it flat back as much as you can, parallel to the floor. Take one big breath. Exhale, forward fold, hands to thighs. Let your knees bend. Roll it up one vertebrae at a time. Good. And let's go down to the mat this time. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the mat. Go ahead and step back to just a plank, right? We're not going to hold it very long. Totally fine to bring your knees to the mat. Totally fine to go to your elbows. Stay here. Check in. Strong shoulders, pressing into the floor. One big inhale. And then however you like, bring it all the way down to the mat. We're going to work our back bodies a little bit here. Yeah, let's start with some baby cobras. Hands to the side, little tiny cobra, so small that you could lift your hands if you wanted to. We'll exhale down. Inhale, lift. Yeah, continue that at your own pace, a few reps. Good. Slide your arms underneath, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, come into Sphinx. Press your feet into the mat. If you want a little bit more sensation, pull back with your arms as if you were going to drag yourself forward. You might notice some big engagement in your back if you're doing that. Good. One big inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and slide your hands out. And a couple options. We could lift opposite arm and leg and just keep that nice, slow, controlled. It'll be controlled no matter what we do here. motion going. Or if you like the Pilates swim, come on up into super yogi and start to flutter your arms and legs. If you're doing that, inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's do 2 more sets. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Yeah, exhale, let it go. Bring your head to your hands. Let your knees bend. Yep, and sway those. Release the low back. Nice. We're coming up on Halloween. I want to show you one of my new favorite yoga poses. It's called crawling zombie. If you take your toes to the mat this way, yep, lift your knees up off the floor, fire up your legs, walk your hands out in front of you. I like to come to fingertips. And then we got to do this creepy crawl thing. Crawl your fingers out just a little bit, and then turn your head down toward the mat so that your nose is pointing at the mat. And breathe here. Let's stay here for about 4 breaths if that feels okay. Good. And release. Forehead to hands. Let your knees bend and sway. And then let's press up. You could press to all fours if you like. You could come to downward dog or anything else your body's feeling like it needs right now. Just going to shake it out a little bit wherever we are. So little down dog or a little cat cow. Nice. Yeah, you could flow through some up dogs. And then when you're done, when you're ready, come to sitting. And walk your feet out wide. A little bit more Pilates. We're going to work a little twisting, a little oblique muscle. And you all sit beautifully. I call this toddler sit because when we're toddlers, we could like do this all day. And when we get to be adults, it's pretty hard. It's pretty challenging. Take arms to the side. And we're going to take a twist and then just reach little finger toward little toe. It's not an intense thing. When you come up, hit that center position. Yeah. And we'll do the other side. Yeah. So we're kind of getting into the hamstrings, doing a little stretchy there, getting into our core muscles. We're working our obliques as we twist. Good. Let's do one more each side. Beautiful. Come on back to center. Take your right hand inside that right thigh. Left hand could reach to the sky. It could be behind your head. It could stay on your leg. We're just going to do a little lateral stretch here. Getting into that left side. Breathe into that space. Yep. Yeah, you could totally grab your toe. You could reach over. If you can grab toes with both hands, go ahead with that. Yeah, and then we'll come all the way up. Reset, and we'll go to the other side. And inhale all the way back up. Shake it out. Let's come into a yoga boat before we go to our backs. Lots of options. Your feet could be on the mat. You could have one leg up. You could have both legs up. They could be bent. You could hold on. You could let go. Find your boat, right? Might try different things and just see how they land today. Good. One more breath. And let's come up. Lots of neat modifications. Feet together. Let your back round. And if you want, you can get to your back however you like. But if you'd like, you could take a big inhale. You could roll back to just where it's hard to hold. Scooping out through the belly. Take another big inhale. Use your exhale to drop yourself back to the mat. And let's reach arms up overhead. Reaching fingertips to toes. Step your feet off to the left. So I'm just moving them over to the edge of the mat. Move your arms over to the left. If it feels nice to you, you could take your left leg, cross the ankle over your right leg. If that's too much, put it right back. Good. And we'll come back through center. Same thing, other side. Walking the legs over to the right. Moving your arms over to the right. Option to take that left leg over the right. It could be entirely different than on the other side. I know I have a tighter side hip-wise. So just honor that, however it feels to you. Good. And we'll come on back to center. Bring your hands to your sides, feet on the floor, and roll yourself up into a yoga bridge. Option one is to stay right here. You could lace your fingers. You could do a kind of a typical yoga bridge, or you might rock your upper body a little side to side. And if it feels good, you could take a hand across to your opposite shoulder or to the floor. It can be small, or you could really reach out. Finding a little mobility in the thoracic body. Good. And if you're rolling, go ahead and bring that back to center. Big inhale. Exhale takes us down one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Let's take right leg to the sky. Left leg could be straight out or it could be bent. You decide. Imagine breathing into the back of that stretching leg. And then take your right leg, cross it over your left leg. Pull your left leg in. A lying pigeon. That leg could be straight. It could be bent. You could also lean a little bit over to the left if you want a little more sensation through the right hip. And then come on back to center. We'll switch sides. Left leg to the sky, right leg could be bent or it could be straight. We're breathing into the back of that left leg. Just imagine letting the tension go with each exhale. And then go ahead and cross your left leg over your right leg. Draw that right leg in. Could be straight, it could be bent. You might lean over to the right. Good. And then bring both feet in. Shift your hips a little bit off to the left. Open your arms wide. Let your legs drop over to the right. Notice how far they want to go. Maybe they go all the way to the floor, maybe not. Notice where you feel sensation in this twist. Breathe into those spaces. And then one at a time, let's bring legs back to center. Shift your hips off to the right. Let your knees drop to the left. If it feels good to look to the right, you could add that. Come on back to center. Notice if there's anything else you're needing. Happy baby, another stretch, a little movement before we settle in for 1 minute of rest. And when you're ready, find constructive rest or shavasana, or even sit up, whatever feels most comfortable to you. Take a few seconds just to notice how all that landed in your body. How are you feeling from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet? And then let your body be heavy. Let your belly be soft. And turn your attention to your breath. No need to change anything. Just notice whatever you notice. Let's stay here 3 more breaths. And then allow your arms and legs to move. Maybe bring the soles of your feet back to the floor and let your knees sway a bit to release your low back. And then go ahead and turn toward me or your computer screen. And stay there for a breath. And gently make your way to sitting. Good. Can we end with a breath together, with or without your arms? Just an inhale, maybe a sighing exhale. May we dwell in safety. May we be happy and healthy. May we be at peace. Thank you for practicing with me today. Thank you, Monona Terrace.
Thank you, Jo.